Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken. So now's the time to find ways to beat the heat, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Welcome once again to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, which is being brought to you by these fine sponsors. Marv's Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue, the Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Give Tim a call, 635-4592. Modelo's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Right across the street, you'll find First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, where you can talk to Tim and the great crew about their special APY right now on CD rates. How about Lennox Auto Body ×2, where they have the main repair center over on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard. Medicap Pharmacy. For all your pharmaceutical needs and sundry supplies, you'll find them always on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations. East Siders, you'll find them at the corner of College and Pershing. Original location over on Vandehigh. Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Take a test drive. Take home the Kia of your dreams today. See them with good friends AJ and Greg Miller and the entire crew over at Kia of Cheyenne. Chick-fil-A. You know them for lunch, you know them for dinner, now you know them for breakfast. So get all 3 squares over at Chick-fil-A. Breakfast served up Monday through Saturday, in addition to lunch and dinner over at the corner of Windmill and Delrange, right across from Menards. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. You'll find Steve and his wonderful staff right over there on Highway 30. Your home for Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. Taco Tuesday today at Taco John's. Your home for loaded potato olays. 6-pack and a pound. Oh, yes, they even have their sirloin steak burritos. But remember, every Tuesday it's Taco Tuesday from Taco John's.
How come it's not here in front of me?
Where
is mine?
Well, because tomorrow I have a very special surprise for you. We'll be talking about that tomorrow.
Oh, that's
if
true.
you will be able to even do the program.
What are you talking about?
What I ordered today? Oh, yeah. Well,
What you were kind of alluding to, I had a fear for my life.
Well,
if I was going to be able to, I mean, what do you mean?
You'll be wanting to take a nap after you get done with
We'll see.
tomorrow's birthday feast. All right, and our program always kicks off with our scoreboard, and that's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go first to Nick, so he can dull us even further. What do you got?
What do you mean, dull you? Again, I have nothing to speak about.
Right.
That's not on my fault. Again, on the local side, all I can do is just at least remind folks again, coming up next Friday, we will have our first high school football action between Thunder Basin and Cheyenne Central. That game will be live here on 1480 K-Ray, which you can stream with us on our at least website, 1480krae.com. Also, too, at least on the scoreboard, I guess we'll talk about Mother Nature. Maybe she'll have, at least, how do I put this? Trying to think of a scoreboard analogy that maybe she'll get a one-up, at least an advantage on the cars of the city of Cheyenne, as we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the city of Cheyenne. That will be up until 4 p.m. today. At least expect 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, half dollar size hail. Again, right now it's moving ever so slowly from Albany County, and it should be here around, they were anticipating around this time, so do be on the lookout for some severe thunderstorm activity around Cheyenne.
Major League Baseball, let's get to the real stuff. Brewers have defeated the Cubs this afternoon at Wrigley. Final score 7-zip Brew Crew as they get past the Cubbies. And right now, Cubs leading the Brewers by 2 in that NL Central Division. Games getting underway when we say adios. Mets and the Orioles. Last night, Brandon Nimmo going yard for the Mets in their victory over the New York Yankees. Hit a solo shot. It will be the Rays and the Yankees in the Bronx for tonight. Phils will host the Red Sox, White Sox at the Detroit Tigers at Comerica. Indians and Reds again at Great American Ballpark. Marlins and Braves at SunTrust Park in Cumberland, Georgia. 6 o'clock games. Diamondbacks will face off with the Rangers again in Arlington. Pirates will take on the Twins in interleague play at Target Field. Rocks and the Astros at Minute Maid. It will be German Marquez on the hill. He'll take his 9-9 record with his 4.69 ERA. He matches up with Justin Verlander, who's 11-7, 2.50 ERA. Blue Jays will take on the Royals at Kauffman Stadium. It will be the Nats and the Cardinals at Busch. Athletics in the Oco tonight, hosting the Mariners. Giants and Dodgers will renew their rivalry again in Chavez Ravine at Dodger Stadium. And the Angels of the Padres will be at Petco later tonight. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Paid for by friends of Mark Gordon. I'm Mark Gordon. You know my priorities: budget discipline, schools, and jobs. Other candidates are trying to tear me down for their own purposes, but their attack ads really say a lot more about them. It's simple. If you like what they're selling, vote for them. But I have real experience managing state government and a proven track record. I need your support. They want to buy a title. I'm applying to do the job.
Mark Gordon, Republican for governor.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 77. If it's tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with a slight chance of rain with lows around 52. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 83. And on Wednesday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 53.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Perotti, along with Nick Perotti. Ty Lane, skipper of the Post Sixers, is in. We get a chance to wrap up the season for Post Six. 85 games for the Sixers this year, 65-20, which is the most wins ever by a Post Six team. I guess the emotions for you really don't want to be here talking to us right now. Want to move on to the next level, but your kids went 2-2 and played some really good baseball and played some good teams.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I'm very proud of this group of guys that we had this year. You know, you don't want to be here right now, but you know, when you look at the big picture, we're talking about, you know, 3,000 Legion teams, and we finished in the top 32 of those teams. So that's something to be proud of for our guys. You know, the goal is not to get to the World Series finish in the final 8, but the goal is to try to win a national championship. And I think if you're into the top 32 teams of Legion baseball as a program, that should be something that you shoot for every summer. And so we're gonna step forward and move on and try to get geared up for the next one.
Talk about the at least level of competition that you saw in Missoula, Montana, the regional tournament. Again, you saw teams from Montana itself, Meridian, Idaho, on at least the islands of Hawaii. But just talk about the teams that you did see and the just kind of level of competition that you saw throughout that past weekend.
Yeah, it was good. It was very good baseball, man. It was just as good as anything we had seen all summer. I didn't feel like the level was too high for our guys. It felt like we competed right in there, right with anybody. I think our schedule this summer did a good job of preparing us to play that level of baseball, and I felt like our guys were ready. You know, we just didn't get a couple breaks to go our way, and you know, we fought and battled, and we're right there, just didn't come out the way we wanted it to.
You know, you've been through this as a player, coach, and now as the manager, and it sucks. I mean, you know, you're just that one step away, and we can't seem to get over that hump. What is it when we go to these places? Do we psych ourselves out, or like you said, you know, one break didn't happen for us? I mean, if you could put your finger on it, what do you see, Ty?
Well, I think it's a lot of different things, and I think the first thing is you got to realize that we're facing the state champions of 7 different states, and you know, these teams are as good as it gets for the state of Idaho, as good as it gets for the state of Montana, Washington, Oregon, Hawaii, and so you're going to have to play a very high level of baseball. You know, you think about the state title game in Wyoming. You're going to have to win 5 state title games to win a regional tournament. That's really what it comes down to. Every time you take the field, there is no cupcake. There is no step back. It's win 5 state title games in a row. And so with that being said, I think in order to do that, you're going to have to catch a couple breaks along the way throughout the course of the tournament, get a couple things to fall your way. You know, I don't think our guys are intimidated. I think that maybe was a thing that was early on in our program going down to this tournament. It's intimidating. Big, strong, athletic state champs from other states could get into your head a little bit, but I don't think that that's where we are anymore. I think that where we are now is we belong, and we believe that we're as good as anybody there. And you know, we've had a couple good runs and played good baseball in that tournament. We've just got to get a couple breaks to go our way. Maybe get hot at the right moment and string it together.
Now, here's where I lipped off yesterday, and what you mentioned right there, teams out of Washington, teams out of Hawaii, teams out of Idaho, all programs that offer baseball.
Right.
Through the school system. And again, I lipped off yesterday, and I know we've discussed that ad nauseum, even after we got done with the show yesterday. I mean, it's a shame that this state doesn't have any type of baseball. And again, you need to have X amount of schools to say, yeah, we'll have baseball. I mean, the success that the Sixers have had, throw even Casper in there, and maybe one day the Rough Riders are going to be making their name as well known. But what I'm saying is, though, is it that lack of that maybe 20, 30 games prior to a Legion program, or even going back to the Mustangs? Is it that lack of that early spring ball that's might not putting us over the hump?
Well, I think that you're close to what I think it is. I think it's the infrastructure of baseball for the most part. I talked to Huggins from Jackson Hole. They spent a lot of their summer in Idaho playing in those tournaments there, a lot like we did in Colorado, and he was telling me that just the fields at the high schools, the facilities, the cages, everything that they have got rolling down there right now is better than he's ever seen it. And then you turn around and look, and Idaho's won the last 2 regional tournaments and been to the last 2 World Series in Legion Baseball. So I think it is part of that. I think maybe not so much the games in the spring, because I do think that we get a good schedule in, and it is Wyoming-based mostly in the spring, and we get our games in. And we've played 85 games. We've played as many as most summer teams do when you add their high school season in. So, but then if you look at it, I think it is more of the buy-in from the state of how good do we want to be at this, and having the infrastructure inside of the schools with the indoor facilities and the cages and all of that type of stuff, and more kids wanting to play baseball. If we were able to cultivate that a little bit in our state, I do think that it would help us in the back end.
Well, and again, too, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Nick, because obviously with baseball, Title IX, you would have to add another program. And again, we look at the softball programs, especially with Adam Galicia's 18 and under team with the Extreme, and of course, other programs around here. Not every lady goes into track and field or plays soccer. There are, softball players. I mean, is it time that the Wyoming High School Activities Association really take a serious look at this? Again, we see soccer games that are played in snow or canceled because of the cold weather. I mean, is this something that really needs to be seriously looked at, in your opinion?
I do. I think it is something that should be looked at. There's a lot of softball girls out using Wyco Baseball Academy and that facility, and you can see that the softball side of things has grown so much in our town as well as baseball. So, we're tough. We're from Wyoming. We can handle some weather. I think that our kids and this state and this community could use high school baseball and make something out of it.
Well, at least to get to that possibility and at least get over this hump and try to improve infrastructure throughout the state of Wyoming. I mean, is it something that, and again, you might not have the full answer to this question here, Ty, but is it a situation where parents or folks who are baseball fans and want to see Post 6, Cheyenne Mustangs up in Casper, Gillette, wherever across the state improve, be able to have a presence in regional tournaments, make it to that World Series? Is it a situation where parents, folks, fans could go to their local city council, at least kind of meetings and voice their opinions on that stuff? School board as well, too. I mean, is it something that folks, not saying a possibility, but probably should, or at least have their voices kind of at least out there going, hey, I want this to be a possibility. Hey, commissioner, hey, city government, mayor, I want this improvement of infrastructure. Is that something that could be a possibility or something that you kind of encourage folks to do?
Yeah, I think that's probably the first step. If this is going to be created, I think it starts with some organization between all the teams in the state of Wyoming that are playing baseball, and kind of try to get all of our troops on the same page, and we could push towards that a little bit. But, that's definitely not my forte. I don't know a lot about it, but I do know that it would be difficult to get it in. But I believe that if we had high school baseball here and the infrastructure in place that creates, it could be a benefit to baseball in the state of Wyoming.
Well, and you look at the population base, and again, the Cheyennes of the world, Laramie, Gillette, Casper, Sheridan, we know they can support. Then we look at the west side. We've seen Rock Springs can't support baseball. Jackson can. Don't know if Evanston can. Maybe Star Valley can. But again, it's a matter of athletic directors. Wouldn't you think it would be upon their jobs to sit down and maybe put this together? Or is it one of those situations where, well, Powers Field is probably the best field to play at, and it's an all-weather field, and we can wait out a quick snowstorm, but other places, they're going to be wiped out due to the weather. I mean, I'm just kind of confused on this because, again, just nearby when I was in Sterling, Colorado in the 80s, they had baseball, and, they had weather similar to ours. So
it goes in also
they were getting it done.
What we talked about yesterday of maybe if you do introduce spring ball, and again, the theory, obviously with costs, at least with expenses and everything that comes with these teams, kind of do what Major League Baseball does, essentially, of, hey, find those kind of southern tournaments, or at least southern kind of state teams, whether you head down to Albuquerque or you find where it's going to be a little bit warmer on towards the West Coast of that possibility. But I mean,
no, well, you're talking about like for the high schools, though.
Yeah.
You know, you would want to get your springs. But again, it works for Cheyenne to get your spring schedule down to the Colorado teams. You know, and then you come back up, say in March, April, and again, that's when your season
June
starts
when it's not snowing anymore.
Well, no, they kick in April, but you know, you would start your early part of your season down south, and then eventually get up here and play your leagues up here in Wyoming. Again, it's a crapshoot with the weather.
Yeah, it is, and you know, I think a turf field helps that a lot, and those are the types of things that I'm talking about. Where if we had high school baseball, we start figuring out ways to solve some of these problems. And, you know, Gillette has an all-turf field. I think they could do that. And when you're thinking about teams that could support baseball in our state, if you could even go down to our A level, Cody's won 4 or 5 state titles at the A level, and they've got a very competitive, good group of guys. And then you look at the Green Rivers and those types of people, and there's baseball there. So I think the number of kids that are playing this game at a pretty high level is there and in place, and to me
there would be a lot of interest amongst the state.
Absolutely.
Would you agree?
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
All right, and again, we don't want to beat this into submission. You know, I mean, this is a conversation I will have with you for years and years and years because you know,
well, we'll get the conversation if we could get the commissioner.
Well, you know,
soon,
but like I said, I'm a baseball guy, and I believe that baseball should be played even in a state such as this. Let's wrap up here with Post 6. Some seniors saying bye-bye to you. You've had them for a while, and I know some make that age where they get that opportunity to come back another season. But you had a really good group of guys that have gone through the system with you, and you know, saying goodbye sometimes is real tough.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, our 3 seniors, Matthew Simler, Braxton Ennis, Ryan Andren, and then our college guy, Finley Hastings. You know, when I took over the program, this was the first group of guys that I had, and they've come through, and it's tough to say goodbye to those guys, but you know, they all have very bright futures ahead of them, a lot of success. So I'm excited to see what's next for those guys. And then we've got a great group of juniors and down that will be back next year. We won't have any college returners next season, so our full club will be the high school age senior and down, and we're excited about that group, and we think there's a lot of talent there and upside for the future.
For you, for the 2018 season, granted, we haven't given you a whole lot of time to kind of take a breath and kind of look back on it, but what kind of stood out from this season? Was it the 65 wins, breaking that win record for Post 6? Was it competing out and doing fantastic in the Omaha tournament? What kind of stuck out to you as kind of favorable and memorable moments from this 2018 season?
Yeah, I think, you know, winning the Nooch is always the second time we've done it. That's a great tournament and a very fun one to win. Being able to do it in front of Loaf and Jug, where they bring out about 1,000 fans and it's a packed house. That's a fun place to win. And then, you know, beating Creighton Prep is always a huge win to put under your belt. And you know, I'm just proud of the way these guys played. They gave us a chance to win pretty much every event we were in all summer. We were into the back end of it with an opportunity to win it. So that makes for a fun season. I've been through a lot of summers where we were nowhere near winning any of those events, and it makes for a lot longer summer. So it was fun to be around these guys. They played the game hard, and they played it at a high level. I'm proud of the way that they worked day in and day out. It's a long grind, but they brought it every day. They strapped it up and brought it, and it was a great group. 65 wins, that means a lot as well.
You know, I kind of go into a funk in November because that, you know, that's when baseball's over. I know for you, it's almost like it has to be year round because you got to start working on scheduling and putting things together, and of course, got to start looking at replacing a couple guys on the team that are leaving. So tryouts. When are we looking at the new group of Post Sixers?
Yeah, so we'll have tryouts this Sunday at Powers Field. From our freshmen, will go 10 to 12. If you're entering 9th grade, 10 to 12. Sophomores and up will go from 12 to 2. And so we'll get that look. We're also going to get our fall ball stuff geared up. and that tryout's actually Saturday, August 18th at Rocky Mountain High School in Fort Collins at 10 a.m. So we're going to get that put together. It looks like we'll have 4 solid teams to be able to play a really good 2-month schedule. We'll go to Albuquerque, we'll go to Phoenix, we'll play some junior college teams where it's our high school guys versus the JC guys. So that's a lot of fun, and we'll do that a few times in the fall too. So that's all about getting better, getting looks, trying to get prepared for your next summer. And I think our program's in a pretty good spot, and we're excited about the future.
And with those camps as well, too, of what we've done with the Cheyenne Mustangs, we will post that on our social media sites, which you can also find with us on Wyoming Sports Talk today, and also, too, with Cheyenne Post 6 on their various media, at least social media sites as well. So look for that.
When you look at the new crew that will be trying to break through to be on your squad, do you look for that versatile player who can be interchangeable at second base, move over to third, go off to center field, can pitch? I mean, what do you look for when you are looking at these kids in tryouts?
Yeah, versatility is definitely something that can benefit you as a player and help you make a team for sure. For us, we're looking for that one thing that they can prove that they can do at a varsity level, and if they've got something that can help us win baseball games, we can always build off of that and try to expand their game. So if it's arm strength, if it's power or defensive ability, those types of things, we want to see something that could help us, that could play at the AA level, and then try to create a baseball player from there.
Final thought, again too, as you're having the tryouts this weekend, I'm sure people have contacted you, coaches have contacted you, players that are interested. Again, too, have you had that opportunity? I know we mentioned that with Coach Thompson. Have you been around, and it doesn't even seem like you've had any off time, but have you been able to see some of those younger kids in the various programs perform throughout the course of the year?
Yeah, definitely. It's not as much as I would like to, obviously, but, with our schedule being as busy as it was. But I was down and around, our 3 lower-level teams for Post 6, and, Tag Lane coaches our YCO 13's top team, so I was out there, and I've seen them play a few times. And there's a lot of good baseball players in that age group. And then, the next group of 13s is going to play for Brad Barker, and he does an unbelievable job, and so I was out and getting to take a look at some of those guys. So I think baseball right now is thriving as much as it ever has in Cheyenne, and we've got unbelievably talented players all over this town from all different age groups. And so it's exciting to watch. It's exciting to see those guys go play, and hopefully we get a chance to work with them a little bit as they grow up.
It's just a 365, 24/7 adventure for you, Ty. Here's the real question: are you going to have some off time, take a vacation, enjoy yourself for a bit? I mean, is that in your foreseeable future, or is it going to be kind of locked up for?
He also has a job too.
That's true,
I'm going to go out on a limb, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm with you, Larry. As soon as our fall ball ends in November, definitely in a funk. I feel like I'm in hibernation until the snow can melt. So that'll be a time where I'm not quite as busy for sure, but it's also the time that I don't like the most. So we'll have to get through that and get to work and try to get our guys ready for the next summer.
65-win season. Congratulations on the win. And again, state champions again. We're getting closer and closer to getting out of that Northwest Regional.
Yep, definitely. Thanks.
Ty Lane, thank you so much. Appreciate you joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Got to take a time out. We'll be back with more after these words.
The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside, and what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com. Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Delrange.
Are you thinking about purchasing a home? Then Platte Valley Bank can help. With Platte Valley Bank, you can count on local decisions and expect to work with an experienced staff to design a loan to fit your needs. Just log on to pvbank.com and fill out our online application. We have money to lend, and at Platte Valley Bank, we are in the business of fulfilling dreams, enriching lives, and building our community one loan at a time.
All loans subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Before David Dotson started talking about putting Wyoming first, he had a few other firsts. He first lived in Massachusetts, where he voted as a Democrat just a few years ago. Before landing in Jackson Hole, Dotson first gave $2,300 to support Barack Obama for president. Then Dotson gave $1,000 backing Bernie Sanders, the socialist. And while he now claims to live in Jackson Hole, Dotson built a multi-million-dollar home in California. Oh, and before running for Senate, Dotson first had to switch parties, becoming a Wyoming Republican only months ago. If Massachusetts and Barack Obama and Bernie Sanders and California all came first for David Dotson, doesn't that mean that he's putting Wyoming last?
I'm John Barrasso, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Friends of John Barrasso. BarrassoForWyoming.com.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. So I guess
hopefully we're back. We might have EAS alerts because again we are in the middle of a severe thunderstorm warning for the city of Cheyenne up until 4 p.m. today. So again, as you're hearing, at least possibly we've been hearing it quite a bit. The thunder out and about around the city of Cheyenne. So do be cautious.
Some water too that's coming down.
Hell, yeah.
It's another day at the office. That's the way I look at it. All right, so we were talking off here, and again,
yeah,
and this is something too. I guess with our listeners, we can gauge them on their thoughts. If they're, sometimes I just think this community doesn't care. When I do get the impression sometimes
they care up to a point where it doesn't cost them anything. Clearly, what we saw with LCCC, again, with that proposed to upgrade facilities over there, again, for top, and again, it wasn't just for athletics, but again, adding fine arts and updating buildings for LCCC. But again, once we had a proposed tax or whatever that, at least with the bond issue, hey, we'll support it up until the point, I don't feel like paying an extra nickel or something per, whatever taxable reason, but right. I would. It's City of Cheyenne shows its support up until when it starts costing them something. It certainly seems like we would love to have a brand new stadium, but if it's going to be on taxpayer money, is it really worth it? Nah.
But here's the deal, though.
But and that's that's in my opinion.
Again, and I look back to my high school.
Well, before you go into your rant again, if someone wants to contradict anything we're saying, 514-1071, area code 307-514-1071. If you want to chime in and again talk about at least anything that we have discussed on Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Well, and I go back to again my high school. We never played at our high school field. We played at the city park. That was the main field to play on. So
which is what Powers Field.
Powers or Pioneer would be, either one would work for a high school setting. And again, depending on which high schools would offer, would it be? I would hope all three high schools would offer it. But again, you just sit here and I feel like you and me and even Coach Lane, we would all be beating a dead horse. Because the first thing that's going to come out, here's what's going to happen. We're going to have baseball for a weekend. And just hear me out. Rock Springs to host, or Cheyenne Central host Rock Springs for a doubleheader.
Mm-hmm.
And it snows. Well, first it's the cost of traveling to get over here. It's a crapshoot. You don't know what the weather's going to be like.
Yeah.
And you're going to lose.
Which is also something you run into in basketball.
But you're going to lose 2 games. You're also going to, it's going to cost money to put the kids up, whatever.
And again, same stuff that they deal with basketball currently. Again, traveling across the state of, hey, here's a winter storm trying to get up to Gillette or something like that. Again, it's nothing that the Wyoming High School Athletics Association has not dealt with before.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I think even talking to the commissioner of the Wyoming High School Activities Association,
which we are hoping to talk with either this week or next week.
And I don't want to speak for him, but I think he would be supportive of it. Yeah, and this is the way the process would go if it were me. As I'm the Wyoming High School Activities Commissioner, I would call in all athletic directors from probably more of the big schools than the smaller schools, because this would be, if you are 3A,
I don't anticipate Pine Bluffs or at least Birds to kind of send out possible teams again.
You won't be able to field enough. No,
unless you combine the 2 cities into something, but that's gonna be tough.
You won't do that, and you can't have. Yeah, you would probably have 4A baseball and probably 3A baseball. That would be.
I feel like 3A would also push it, but I mean, Torrington.
3A would be also be like Wheatland, Torrington, Evanston,
which do have the single A kind of Legion team. So yeah, it is possible.
So you call those athletic directors in and you say, hey, here's what we're thinking, and we also want to add girls softball.
Yeah. Which I don't think anyone's against. And again, we have fine programs across the state, again, including here in town with Cheyenne Extreme.
Yeah, and again, do we have enough to field 3 teams on a varsity level?
Possibly. I think so far, again, what you see with Cheyenne Extreme, you do have at least Extreme Adam Galicia's team, and also at least there's an Extreme Harris team that does play in the summertime. So, again, when we talk with Adam Galicia, he certainly has put out big numbers of what comes to tryouts for softball to be a part of Cheyenne Extreme. So it does sound like, again, you pull from them, you pull from rec leagues of those who did not want to compete or pay prices for Extreme, wanted to go and compete at least in kind of rec teams. I would think so.
Again, and I'm playing devil's advocate with all of this. So, again, Cheyenne could fill the bill. Let's just say, for argument's sake, I believe that the 2 I believe the 2 high schools in Gillette, both Thunder Basin and Gillette Campbell County can fill the bill. I think that Natrona and Kelly Walsh can also field teams. So right now we're looking at 7 teams.
Sheridan.
I think Laramie can do the job.
Yeah.
And I think that you also would have Sheridan that would take care of this side of the state. Then you go
Jackson, yes, I would say Jackson, because again we saw them in Double A, at least in
Star Valley, Cody, as Ty
Rock
mentioned.
Springs, Evanston is a question mark, but I think Evanston could.
Green River, don't know. And again, but I mean, you
would think Green River could, but
you're on to the makings of something. But again, it's money. And you got to remember, school districts are only given so much by the state, and athletic department budgets are already stressed as they are. And again, I'm not trying to be Mr. Gloom and Doom here. I know the facts. So, we're talking additional schedules. We're talking additional busing. We're talking possibly spending nights. And again, hotels aren't cheap anymore. So, again, every $100 that is spent through the athletic department budgets, and again, if I think back to my baseball days, I don't think my parents ever paid a nickel to come watch me play in City Park. There was never an admission. So you don't really charge for baseball games. I mean, you could.
I think they would. Again, you charge admission as is with high school basketball, football, any athletic event. I think baseball
would be a big draw.
I think so. It obviously weather would play a factor, but again, we've seen where gate fees have been at least around, whether it is going to see a Mustangs game or a Post 6 game, seeing any kind of tournament around the nation. Again, you're accustomed to paying gate fees. And again, the only rarity was that Caba tournament where no one really cared, but I don't think that's going to turn away anyone. Again, you see high school students currently who come out and still pay that gate fee to come see the Mustangs or Post 6. I think if you had at least the ability where obviously students of those high schools, obviously you get in for free. I would hope so. But
with your student activity card.
Yeah, with that. But again, for parents, at least for fans, I don't think it would be anything different to what you see currently right now being played on American Legion or in Connie Mack with our two teams here.
So
I really don't.
Again, you know, as I've got the makings of a possible league. But also, too, now, here's the other thing that you are going to get slammed a little bit for. You are taking away an athlete, student athlete, from either a soccer program or track and field.
Yeah, which is their decision. Again, if they want,
I think,
hey, if they really want to devote themselves to baseball, go right ahead. That's why you have those options. Hey, you got to deal with what you got. Again, soccer, golf, tennis, cross country, swimming. Again, you have a lot of competition. It seems like a lot of programs around the state do perfectly fine with it. I mean, I don't think adding another wrench into the system with baseball, I don't think it detracts from anything.
Yeah, and again, to have, if you are going to have, and this is the thing, you're not going to have JV baseball.
Oh no,
I can tell you that.
There's no
it's
point.
going to be. It would be tough. You could have varsity baseball for most of the schools. JVs has got to push in it in the bigger schools. The Cheyennes maybe, but so you got a varsity team. You got to have at least, in my opinion, you got to have at least about 15 kids on the team.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to feel. So you're looking here at least in Cheyenne 45 kids, ranging from freshmen to seniors.
Which I think is doable.
For varsity.
I think it's doable.
I think it would be doable even in the 3A communities as well. But again, the thing that is going to hinder your and my argument is the damn weather. And that's the only thing.
Well, infrastructure of fields and, again, setting up of making possibilities with all-weather turf, having that availability. Again, in a perfect world, hey, we find a private donor or some cost-effective way to have, a little mini, Minute Maid Park or a retractable roof or a dome system. I get that.
We don't have.
It's a tongue-in-cheek thing, but again, it's a situation where, that is what the state has to deal with. Is it something where you find optimal places that you can kind of compete at, or here's the questions. It's out of my range, but it's something where maybe these athletic directors have discussed and figured out it's not possible. Or again, is weather really the main factor of what's preventing high school, at least Wyoming, adding it to the high school level?
It adds,
or is it also to infrastructure?
No, weather adds to it. I would think with the Powers Field.
And again, this day and age, here we are in 2018 where we can forecast pretty accurately where, all right, if we can't play a game on Friday, we know the storm system's coming in. All right, let's maybe move up a day or postpone it a day where it's going to be a little cleaner or something.
Again, you got kids, you're going to take them out of school. And again, you only have, for all I know, and again, I'm not going to profess to know everything, but I know we have the two fields here. We also have the field in Gillette that's all weather.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you are asking school districts, and again, we're fortunate here in Cheyenne. We have all-weather turf on all three of the high school fields.
Yeah.
There's no grass anymore on those fields. So, do you ask Cody to, pony up to the bar and, put some carpet down on their Legion baseball field?
I think you would have to set up at least kind of make it equal or equivalent across the state and go, no, you got to follow these kind of routes. Unfortunately, especially with baseball, hey, if you are playing on a grass field and it snows, well, we can't do what we can in the likes of Cheyenne or Gillette. I think you would need that consistency around the state, but is it something that local community, that local school district, who knows how you would get that going about? I think, is it a situation where you look to what Cheyenne did of ponying up the bar? I don't know. I really don't know.
And again, if I got to say this, Nick, I'll probably be dead before they even come up with any type of solution, because, again, the main thing that's always going to be I don't think it's travel. I don't think it's kids. I think it's always going to be Mother Nature.
Yeah.
And that is going to be the 99.9% fact that they won't play baseball. But Ty said it best. Kids out here, tough.
Yeah.
I mean, you're born out here, I mean.
Hell, I wear shorts in a blizzard. I don't care.
Yeah, but again, too, playing baseball, you slap on the long sleeves.
Yeah.
Most of these kids, again, are playing with metal bats, so you don't have to have the wood busting your fingers or anything like that.
You put the portable heaters in the dugout. There you go. You're good.
Again, costs money. I don't know if they want to.
Someone can lend. Some parent has one of those in their garage. They can lend out. I guarantee.
I'm just saying. So I think.
I think for the state of Wyoming, a better solution, or at least probably a quicker solution, is to find a way that you can move the state to somewhere south than figuring out high school baseball. I think that's, again, it's clearly tongue in cheek, but. Hopefully we'll get the answers, or at least get a good understanding, where at least already put out the email to Commissioner
Ron Laird.
Yeah, Ron Laird with the Wyoming High School Athletics Association. See if he can join the show, get his thoughts on things, especially with adding baseball and softball to the high school ranks, and also too maybe coming up next week. Plan is to try and get the local athletic directors in studio with us to kind of pick their brains.
Well, and here's the thing too. I just thought of this, that if we were to go that route, which again I would love to see, maybe they could set up, and we'll use Cheyenne for example, set it up as a tournament type of weekend, or a tournament Friday, Saturday.
It's the McDonald's Classic.
No. You've got two fields. You got Pioneer Park, and you got.
That's what I'm saying. You have McDonald's Classic baseball.
But I mean, you have 3 Cheyenne teams. You invite Laramie over.
Yeah.
And again, this is league play, and you get together and you do a weekend set where East takes on Central, East takes on South, and then East wraps up with Laramie. Then you have the same thing going on in the north. And then the next weekend, the 3 Cheyenne teams drive up to Casper, Gillette, whatever the case may be. I mean, can it be done? Yes.
I think so.
It could be done.
Sounds like it should be.
It's going to be a hell of a lot of planning. And I think a lot of people don't want the headache right now just thinking about it. Because, again, what happens if you have to scrap an entire weekend?
Yeah.
It's hard to make it up.
It sounds like it's not a necessity, but it's something that, again, not to speak for Ty, and again, not make excuses for him or the Post 6 or even the Cheyenne Mustangs, but it is a situation where it does sound like, again, hey, Idaho, they've won that regional tournament. Guess what? They have high school baseball. All these other states do have that opportunity, do have that ability, whether it is Washington, Oregon, Hawaii, and again, granted, we are well behind the 8 ball, being the smallest, at least population state and
even Alaska has baseball.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, they have baseball there too, but it's not. I mean, they actually have high school baseball in Alaska in certain areas, but
we need to take a timeout.
Well, do we need to take another time? But again, like I said, it's just our proximity. And I'm not sure if Montana has high school baseball. We need to go look that up, because their weather has got to be just as bad as ours.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting all that Canadian cold air during the February, Marches, and Aprils. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll be right back after these words.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up, or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe. Live safe.
As Cheyenne's weather turns warmer, dust and pollen can become a problem for those with allergies, asthma, or respiratory issues. And the last thing you want in the summer heat is poor air quality in your home or office. So it's time to turn to Marv's Plumbing and Heating. That's right, Cheyenne's most trusted plumbing, sewer, and heating business also services air conditioning. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, can handle all your air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
For 56 years, 1480 K-Ray has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Also with KYY FM, we are Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM/FM combo radio stations. Add that to the addition of 3 FM radio translators to serve the area with programming from both K-Ray and KYY, and that equals a lot of bang for your local advertising dollar. Radio, yesterday and today, still works. For more information, contact Don Morris at 307-637-0301.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Okay, good day in the weight room, boys. Remember, we lift weights for strength. For cardio, we lift weights faster. Wachowski, quit looking at your stomach, son. What you're looking for ain't there. If you want a six-pack, the easiest way to get one is at Taco John's.
Stop in for a 6-pack and a pound at Taco John's. Get 6 crispy beef tacos and a pound of potato olays, all for $10.99.
Let's Olay the day and go get one right now. Last one there has to pick up Mrs. Coach from jiu-jitsu class.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 77. If tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with a slight chance of rain with lows around 52. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 83. And on Wednesday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 53.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
It is a Tuesday afternoon of Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and again, we want to beat the dead horse here and go baseball, but we'll leave
Why
it
not?
off.
It's what's prime time right now.
Know, but we'll leave it right there. And again, thank Ty Lane for coming. We got our another guest who will be joining us via the phone. That's Will Gray, Pine Bluffs football head coach, and again, looking for the three-peat this year for the Hornets. So
you did find your answer with Montana High School baseball.
Yeah, they do.
Yes, they do.
They do have high school baseball.
So, no excuses up there.
I think with them being closer to the Canadian border, I thought they would be a lot colder. But then again, more population base.
Not a whole lot. It's not a leaps and bounds compared to Wyoming. I think, again, population-wise, I think they're the 44th state overall of what they got. Again, Billings is, barely over 100,000?
It still has population. We
Good
don't.
for them.
Anyway, so we'll have Will Gray join us here next hour. Did you watch any of the ball game last night?
No.
And this is why I
only got the highlights of Dodgers-Giants.
That's what I'm talking about, the Giants-Dodgers. The Dodgers right now are experiencing...
Guess what? They're pleading for Kenley Jansen.
They're experiencing the Rocky syndrome right now. They have no consistency out of the pen to close it.
Yeah.
And again, I thought the Kershaw-Bumgarner matchup...
It lived up to the hype. Again, it was close and hit, and then guess what? Top ninth, the Giants said, hey, Dodger bullpen, you don't have Kenley in here to close it down. We'll take advantage.
Boy, they sure did. And you know what?
Back to 500 ball.
I have a feeling right now, well, I'm not all amped up on the Giants.
They're only 5 out. Again, they're still in the race.
I understand that, but they have a lot to overcome.
They have a better shot at it than the Twins do of at least taking over the AL Central of the at least Cleveland Indians, who are terrible. But again, they still have a better shot. Who I think the Twins are 12.5 out. Yeah. Giants only 5.
Well, and again too, that division tightening up with the Rockies.
Each other is beating each other up. Again, Dodgers losing to the Giants, Dodgers losing to the Rockies, Diamondbacks.
They're losing out of the division right now.
Yeah, it's like,
they got beat by Texas.
Yeah.
So speaking of Texas, that's where the Rocks will be at tonight. They've got the Astros, and again, they draw Justin Verlander, so it's not going to be an easy one.
Good luck.
Yeah, Verlander. He could probably pick up the momentum for the Astros in lieu of the injuries that they're going through right now. But if the Rocks can keep that thing close tonight, they know over their shoulders right now. They know the Dodgers are struggling. They know that the Diamondbacks aren't winning every game, so they've got a very good shot at it, and they can beat the Astros. The Rockies can beat the Astros. Hell, the Giants had them, and they blew both games.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But, again, that Houston team at Houston is they're pretty good outfit at home.
And the Rockies play well on the road. So there's your argument right there. Rockies do well on the road.
It's a team that's 10 games better than the Rockies. So
and
that's my opinion.
And a guy like German Marquez, he seems to pitch a lot better outside of Coors Field than he does at home.
And again, I think for both teams, this is a series where, as you talked about, and we talked with Pat yesterday, Houston might have injuries, but again, they still have the A's who won again, and they're nipping on their heels. They're, 2 games back?
2 games officially back.
It's a situation where Houston is not in control of the AL West. They can easily lose this. It could be Oakland, if they take care of Seattle here in Oakland this series currently. It could be a situation where for the first time in it seems like the entire year, the Houston Astros are not in first place in the AL West. So this is, as we talk about a must-win series, this is for both teams. But who wants it more?
There's 40-plus games left to go in the Major League Baseball season, so we still have the rest of August, all of September.
Yeah.
And you have to like a couple. Well, actually, there's about 3 races that are pretty doggone good right now. Astros holding down the fort. They're 2 games ahead of the Athletics, and they're 4.5 ahead of Seattle. Then you move on to the east of the NL. You got the Braves up by 1. You can't toss out the Nats. They're 7 out. They're a game above 500. You go to the Central Division.
Nats, their only chance is the wild card. That's about it.
Then you go to the Central Division where the Cubs are leading the Brewers by 2. The Brewers winning today. That's a very important series going on right now at Wrigley Field. You can't really wipe out the Cardinals / the Bucks, even though the Bucks are 7.5 out. But I would think Cubs and
Pirates again.
Cubs and Brewers are pretty much
their logical side is getting wild card.
Yeah, but Cubs and Brewers, unless the Brewers do one of their classic folds here,
it doesn't seem like they're going to.
I don't know. I mean, in their last 10 games are 5-5. So in case if they do fold up their tents, it will be somewhere around late August, early September. Then you look out west. The Diamondbacks holding down the fort, 1 game ahead of the Rocks, a game ahead of the Dodgers, so they're tied. And then, of course, the Giants are 5 out, so technically they're not out. But I'm not holding my breath on San Francisco moving onward into postseason play.
We'll see.
All right, well, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to move into hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk today. We're back after these words.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken. So now's the time to find ways to beat the heat in Marv's Plumbing and Heating. 1515 Logan Avenue is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
It is hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today. I'm just looking at some of the pictures that people are showing right now of water coming down out of the sky once again.
Go figure. A thunderstorm brings water. Go figure.
It's raining all over the place again.
You figure it'd be again, in Vegas, it rarely happens when rain comes down. I haven't seen as much.
Yeah, because you mooch water from us.
No, it comes from Lake Mead, but it's a situation where I haven't seen as much rain pictures out there than. It seems like folks out here are so fascinated by, it's rain and blah, blah, blah.
Well, when it rains here, we don't
Guess what? When it rains in Vegas, it floods.
Well, we don't have a natural rain here. We just have flash flooding, and again, it comes
hey,
down
guess
to
what? It actually flash floods in Vegas.
Well, because you only have it once or twice a year. We get it all summer.
Yeah, but
yeah, you can't argue that one.
I'm just saying, folks out here are way too fascinated by rain and everything. It's like, guess what? It happens.
It's just
it'll happen again next year.
It's just how intense it is. All right, hour number 2 being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne. It is Taco Tuesday today, but remember, you can always check out their delicious loaded potato lays. They are good. Their sirloin steak burritos for breakfast and for lunch, really, really good. And, of course, they always have their 6-pack and a pound. But today, you got to enjoy Taco Tuesday. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30. Your home for Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. Chick-fil-A for breakfast, lunch, and dinner 6 days a week. Good eating all the time at Chick-fil-A, corner Windmill Delrange, right across from Menards. Kia of Cheyenne. You can take a test drive with one of your Kias today. Maybe you want to do it tomorrow when it dries out. Check out all the great folks over there at Kia Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank with a couple of banking locations. Check out Rick and the great crew over at the original location on Banda High. And, of course, the secondary location on the east side, which is at the corner of College and Pershing. Medicap Pharmacy, right at its normal location. Not going anywhere. Been there for a long, long time. Next door to Texas Roadhouse on Bluegrass Circle. Lennox Auto Body ×2. The Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing. Of course, the main repair center on Dunn Avenue. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Open Monday through Friday. Mondello's Pizzeria, 7 days a week. Delicious Paisan cuisine for you at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Wyoming, Montana Safety Council, 635-4592. Mars Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. And on our sponsor list, we always start off our program with Pepsi of Cheyenne as they sponsor our scoreboard. We will go to the scoreboard, which is pretty light over on Nick's side of town.
I got nothing. So, again, I can take the break up until football and hockey season gets underway. So, you can do the work.
Major League Baseball, one game in the books as a final from Wrigley Field. Cubs lose. They were blasted by the Brewers today. 7-0. Games that will be taking place when we get done off the air. It will be the Mets at the Orioles. Rays will face off with the Yankees. Red Sox and the Phils tonight at Citizen Bank Ballpark. This is the big series for Philadelphia in their quest to make some noise in the NL East. White Sox and the Motor City Kitties of Detroit at Comerica. Indians and the Reds at Great American Ballpark. Marlins Braves at SunTrust. It will be the Diamondbacks and the Rangers in the 6 o'clock hour, followed by the Pirates and the Twins. Rockies and the Astros, 6:10. Should be the first pitch with German Marquez going up against Justin Verlander. That will be, again, a 6:10 start time. Blue Jays and the Royals. Nats will be taking on the Cardinals at Busch. 8 o'clock games in the Oco with the Mariners facing off against the Oakland Athletics. The swinging A's are back there 23 games above the Mendoza line. Give me a break. Giants.
Yeah, guess what? If they're playing in the National League, they'd be in cruise control.
If they were in the West right now, yeah, everybody'd be chasing them. Giants and the Dodgers from Chavez Ravine tonight, and it will be the Angels and the Padres, and that will be at Petco. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles dancing a two-step
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
We know Mark Gordon brings real experience in agriculture, oil and gas, even service on the school board. As a savvy state treasurer delivering record investment returns, he knows how to manage Wyoming's budget. The Wyoming Tribune Eagle says Mark Gordon, quote, has a strong understanding of the challenges Wyoming faces. It's true. Mark Gordon knows Wyoming, and he'll be ready to tackle the challenges on day one. Mark Gordon, Republican for governor.
Paid for by friends of Mark Gordon.
First Year Bank's drives remain competitive and offer some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? They can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. They have a 16th-month CD at an APY of 2.05% and a 27th-month CD at an APY of 2.27%. You can feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. First Year Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 77. If it's tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with a slight chance of rain with lows around 52. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 83. And on Wednesday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 53.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Peroletti, along with Nick Peroletti, and we go to the phones. We welcome on board Will Gray, who is the head football coach for the Pine Bluff Hornets. Will, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Thanks for having us on.
How's the weather out your way? We've been drenched in various parts of the community, but are you guys escaping the weather out there in your part of the world?
Yeah, so far it's cloudy. We had a little sprinkle about 10 minutes ago, but I hope it stays west of us so practice tonight doesn't get messed up.
So let's talk about your Hornets, and as you enter another season, I guess
talk about the back-to-back state defending champion Hornets.
Yes, I mean dare I say, Will, three-peat?
I have no idea. Ask me in November and we'll talk again.
Let's talk about your Hornets team. Let's talk about, again, we're going to go to 2018. Talk about places that you have to fill holes. And again, being a small community such as Pine Bluffs, you're hoping that, all the kids go out, all the guys go out for football, but tell us some of the holes that you need to fill because of graduation last year.
A year ago we lost some pretty good kids, but the year before we did too. So, quarterback is a big spot that we need to fill. We got some kids competing for it. Unfortunately, one of the kids that was going to compete for that job broke his hand a couple weeks ago in a work accident. So he's getting some opinions from some doctors. So he probably won't be in the mix. But Dante Jacobson is a junior for us. He's thrown the ball really well these first three practices. But, there's no pads on. There's no live bullets. So we'll work with him and get him better. And then, up front we lost Wyatt Fornstrom, who's now at the Military Academy in New York, and John Merrifield, who played tackle. But we have some young kids coming in that are fairly good sized, and, we'll just see how they all pan out and when we put it all together.
I remember days gone by when I used to call Seton football games, and we'd go over to Pine and broadcast there from the stadium. And to me, as a coach of a small community football team such as Pine Bluffs High School, Friday nights, Pine Bluffs is definitely the epitome of Friday night lights. This is the thing to do on a Friday night when the Hornets are in town.
Oh, heck yeah, man. It's a good atmosphere. We have wonderful facilities. We got great stands, and we got a great community that supports us, and, the small town part of it. That's why during 2 days we go at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. because our kids are still working till school starts. So they show up, they work the tail off for 90 minutes to 2 hours, and then they go to work. And then they go home and eat dinner, and then they go to practice again. So, that's just kind of the epitome of who our kids are and who our families are.
Talk about the 2018 schedule, at least for Pine Bluff or the Hornets. Looking at a few home contests, at least week 1 for the Hornets will be against Yuma, Colorado. But your thoughts, Will, on the schedule for this season? Again, looks like a few road trips to Southeast, Tongue River, also 2 on the road, just at least to the west of Burns, and then also to Upton Sundance. But your thoughts and feelings on this 2018 schedule for the Hornets?
We like our schedule. We scrimmage Glen Rock 0 week. I grew up there, so I know what their program's all about. But it reminds our kids, what physical football is all about. When you start a season off like that, it's so helpful. If you can stay healthy, and that's always a big thing with a small school, is just depth. But we've been pretty lucky the last couple of years. And then Yuma's a school we've never played. We were going to play Kimball, but they decided number-wise to drop the 8-man. So we had to send emails and make phone calls to anybody within 3 hours that needed a game, and they were the ones that needed a game. So we're excited to play somebody new. That doesn't always happen in Wyoming with the state making our schedule. So we're kind of excited for that. And right week 2, they're going to be vastly improved. They struggled up front a year ago, but they have great skilled kids, and I think they have their entire starting line back. So they're going to be much improved. And we got some tests early. And then Bighorn at home for homecoming. I think that's week 5 into September. That'll be a big one. But we just have to stay in the moment right now and worry about ourselves and make sure we're getting better every day.
We're talking with Coach Will Gray, head coach for the Pine Bluff Hornets. Coach, and I like your conference because in this 1A East, you got some stud teams in there. I mean, teams that have played football well through the years. Bighorn, Upton, when they were the Bobcats years ago, but now that they're combined with Sundance, Southeast, the Cyclones, you got the Tigers, the Wright Panthers, even Tongue River. This is, on any given night, one of these teams could sneak up and beat you.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? I think every team in our conference has won a state championship at least since the year 2000. I'm trying to think. Maybe not Tongue. Well, I think Tongue River did when they had Rob Johnson at quarterback, maybe 2005, somewhere in there. So everyone and most of the coaches have been around to win games like that. So all the teams we play are very well coached, and there's not a week we can say, oh, you know what, we don't have to show up, because that's absolutely not true. And the teams we play are pretty darn good.
You mentioned Kimball dropping down to 8-man football, and they're a community a little bit bigger than Pine Bluffs. And I'm thinking to myself, boy, Coach, you anytime a kid goes down, like you mentioned the one youngster with the hand injury right now, boy, I tell you, you must bite your fingernails every time that a kid is on the turf there, because it's like you need all bodies are needed at all times.
That's as true as you can say it, man. It is, but at the same time, I think our coaches do a pretty good job of getting other kids ready. They might not necessarily play that position a lot, but we at least get them some reps there, so they know what they're doing, and they're not going to pee their pants when we're wearing white game pants. And I think our coaches do a really good job of getting our kids ready.
Coach, let's talk about offensively and defensively for those that have not seen our county teams, with the Bronx as well as you. Tell us a little bit offensively what the package is all about.
We are a very pro-style offense. We're under center, we're in the gun, we're in the pistol. We try to run anywhere from 6 to 8 formations a week, knowing that we're not going to run all 6 to 8 a bunch of times. We're going to find 3 or 4 that work for us any given week. We try to be balanced, as much as small schools can be with the tools you got. Ace Lawrence from Forest the last couple of years has thrown for 1,000 yards both years. But we want to run the ball. We want to be very, very physical defensively. We don't blitz a ton. That's just not who we are and our personalities. So we keep the ball in front. We're going to make tackles, and we're going to make you put, a 15-play drive together to go score, knowing that teenagers make mistakes. Hopefully their kids make mistakes before ours, but, the last couple of years we've been pretty lucky with that. So you're kind of gambling a little bit, but that's just who we are, and, that's how we do things.
Heading into this 2018 season, obviously with your team winning back-to-back state titles, having a big kind of target on your back, also too going back to last season with a, I do believe, 15-game winning streak, including the postseason. But is that something that's translated to your young men? Do they understand of what's, that these teams that you'll be facing off kind of realize that you are the top dogs, that they're gunning to take you down? Or is it a situation with your young men out there of, hey, we're just out here playing football. It's not, last year was last year. We're focused here on 2018.
Well, I think that's kind of twofold. In today's world, everything's out there on the internet. So we would be fairly stupid as coaches not to recognize that stuff, because the kids are going to go find it anyways. But when we're at practice and we're in between the white lines, it's all about today. You can talk to your friends and your parents about whatever you want at any other time, but when we're practicing, it's about today and trying to get better. But knowing that our older kids have to teach our young kids how to practice and what made them successful the last 2 years. So that's part of their legacy, is not just winning and losing, but teaching those young kids every day how to work.
With your young men, and again too, a lot of these youngsters, when school is out, they go right to work, and again, we still have a lot of agriculture community families in that part of the world. During the summer off season, there's always a lot of camps and stuff. Do you try to get to many camps and try to pick up some extra tidbits while you're in the off season?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We open the weight room at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. every day. Knowing that we do have kids that live out of town and they might not be able to make it, but on the days they can, they get in and work. And then we're a little different as far as our summer camps. So we make June all about basketball. And we had to do that when I was coaching both. We had to separate the summer so we weren't stealing kids from each other. And so Tyler Kimsey, our boys basketball coach, has kind of kept that same approach. So June is all about basketball. We don't even pick up a football during the month of June. And then once they're done with team camps and open gyms and stuff for basketball, then we use our 8 or 9 practices a summer. I think we get 14 days, but kids need a summer too. So we'll practice 8 or 9 times, and then we'll do a team camp mid-July, right before kids jump in combines and go start harvesting wheat. And this summer we had Bridgeport, Mitchell, and Burns come down for a 2-day team camp in the evenings. And it was great for us. We don't necessarily do individual sessions like you're going to get at a college camp. But this way we're in control, and we can change it however we want. If a certain team has real young kids, then we can slow it down, and coaches can be in the huddle and teaching things. And so we try to use our 14 days to our advantage. But, like we've talked about, kids got to be kids and kids got to go to work. So we deal with the kids that show up, and we're going to make them better.
Coach, final thought here before we let you go, and we want to thank you for joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Again, you're not 6-man football. You're 11-man football. In your time there at Pine Bluffs, in addition to winning state championships, and that's a very special thing. But what have you personally learned being a part of a small school with the success that it's had recently?
If you think back not too long ago, we weren't very good. There was a time where we finished the season with 14 kids. And so now that we're up to 36, 40 kids, every year is different. But we, as coaches, we just kind of appreciate the fact that kids enjoy the game. And we want to teach them the game so that when they're dads and they're businessmen, they're still teaching the game to their kids or kids in their communities. And they can teach it in a positive way. We get after the kids, don't get me wrong. But we're not yellers and screamers like we used to be. We still coach them hard, but we love them even harder.
Well, Coach, we wish you all the best in the upcoming season. We're going to catch up with you sometime down the road, okay?
Hey, feel free to come down and call a game live. We got a brand new press box, so we got room for you now.
All right. Well, you know what? We may take you up on that offer. You never know.
I think Pine Bluff, Burns, Battle of Laramie County. I mean, that's not a bad one.
We could, they're at Burns this year, so we can't do that one.
Oh, yeah,
we'd have to go to Pine.
Yeah.
You Can't go in their press box, only mine.
No, I've been in theirs before, and I remember the speaker on top. Believe me, I've been to these stadiums more than once, Coach. Anyway, Coach, all the best to you. We'll keep in touch, all right?
All right, thanks for having us, guys.
All right, Will Gray, Pine Bluffs football head coach, and we appreciate him joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today again. Back-to-back state championships. Do they get the three-peat? One's tough enough, Nick. Two,
again, they have a big target on their back again. We're going back to last season again. Obviously, you're looking forward, and it's that old faux pas, and we understand that. But again, they are teenagers, they are youngsters. Again, you do focus on what happened last year, carrying over to this season. Again, a 15-game winning streak, back-to-back state championships. You got two major targets on your back. Nothing says that this team can't get it done, though, in Class 2A. But as Coach Will did mention there, again, he's very favorable of his schedule, again, with home dates. Again, week 1 out of the gates, they will take on Yuma, Colorado, again, replacing the Kimball contest. They will also at home have Wright as well with Bighorn in week 5, and then wrap up at least at home week 8 with Lusk, and then road trips at Southeast, Tongue River, Burns, and Upton Sunday.
And let's go with those. Southeast is not that far of a trip, for the to go play the Cyclones. Tongue River. That's a little bit of a drive. Burns, right down I-80, so they're going to go
20 mile, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to go west on 80. Upton Sundance, that's quite the little drive. Yeah. We're talking close to the South Dakota border. So, again, they do have some travel in their thing, but, they do get Bighorn. So, again, Bighorn, we're looking at right by Sheridan.
Yeah.
So, again, for the Pine Bluffs Hornets, they get to stay somewhat close to home this season in quest of their third state championship. We will take a timeout. We'll come right back with more of Wyoming Sports Talk today after these words. As Cheyenne's weather turns warmer, dust and pollen can become a problem for those with allergies, asthma, or respiratory issues. And the last thing you want in the summer heat is poor air quality in your home or office. So it's time to turn to Marv's Plumbing and Heating. That's right, Cheyenne's most trusted plumbing, sewer, and heating business also services air conditioning. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, can handle all your air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside, and what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com. Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We'll be back on 1480 K-Ray, Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Thank you again to Will Gray, head coach out at Pine Bluffs, joining us. Tomorrow we got
Ty Lane earlier.
Yeah, tomorrow we got a couple special guests going to be joining us. We'll be football.
Yeah, primarily college football, D1 players as well too from the Torrington Cheyenne area as well. One's playing up in the state of Washington, the other one just across the road, or at least over in Laramie. Again, looking forward to that, at least hearing those two players. We will, as always, on the social media side, pass along who they will be, like I do every day on our social media sides, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or we are live on Periscope, YouTube as well, too. Again, we are the social media, multimedia presence that we are here in Cheyenne, also too in the state of Wyoming. I think what we're doing here is far beyond anything else anyone else is doing, in my opinion. But, just to brag a bit.
Well, we appreciate it. No, we appreciate what you've done.
And again, we will, at least the special package will be in tomorrow, hopefully, as I reminded you. So we might be able to announce something bigger and better that's coming to the 1480K airwaves soon as well, too, for the upcoming high school.
I always like to see how my money's spent around here. So I'm kind of curious to see how this is all going to unpack tomorrow.
Your money has been spent pretty well so far.
You didn't give me the change though from that package. Where's
so
the
what?
Change?
I pay $45 to go see a Sky Sox game. For 2 tickets.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
You're treating me to a ball game.
Yeah, so I can get the $7 to go.
And then I turn around. I turn around on your birthday? I usually give you cash, so I get hosed. I always get hosed in the deal.
How do you get hosed? I'm
getting a free game.
You're riding shotgun and a free game and a 50-cent hot dog.
Your birthday's Thursday, and you usually get cash for your birthday. So
I'm not giving you cash. That's a faux pas. Again, I can get you. I got you a Texas Ranger ball, at least baseball and whatnot. Again, a little souvenir.
Never mind.
I was thinking about getting you something from Baylor, but again. Okay. You're not wearing a T-shirt from there. You're not going to wear a hat from Baylor.
That's right. Let's move on. I don't want to get.
I could get you a Baylor tie
because you're going to argue and.
No, I'm just saying. I can't buy anything for you because again, you don't wear it.
That's right. Let's see. I also wear shorts.
I get you. I'm not spending $70 on Baylor shorts.
Oh, you don't have to spend $70. You can get for $25. I'm sure they're $25.
Not at a bookstore, not at a.
Well, you don't go to the bookstore and buy them, you knucklehead.
That's where I bought my stuff, though. That's where I had to go.
You go to the little department stores that they have. You know, everybody has, or a sporting goods store. They all have that stuff, for sale.
I don't think they had a Dick's down there. I'm not sure.
All right, here's what's going on out of Bronco camp today. If you're interested,
you had your boy from the preseason. He moved up in the depth chart.
That's exactly right, Chad Kelly. He's Jim. Good. He's related to Jim Kelly.
Yeah.
Chad Kelly. Anyway, Chad Kelly.
Kind of like what I told you about the XFL commissioner. He's the pops of Andrew Luck. But anyways,
that's Oliver Luck.
Oliver.
Yeah. Well, this is interesting too because he's basically when you draft, he was Mr. Irrelevant 2 seasons ago, and he was also beat up from his time in college. But he's had that whole season to watch and learn. This season got himself.
He retained it a lot better than Lynch could.
Lynch has nothing. I am so embarrassed because this guy has nothing between the ears, and it bothers me because at 6'7", you'd think this guy would be, he's got the tools and he's got the arm. He just doesn't have the smarts.
Clearly, it just didn't translate. I wouldn't say he doesn't have the smarts. It just hasn't translated from college ranks to what he's doing in the NFL. Again, maybe it's a situation where Pat
was absolutely right when he was talking to us yesterday. They only had a few plays in Memphis that they could alter, to make it easy. The playbook was easy for Paxton Lynch.
Yeah.
You get to the National Football League, and
And again, Memphis is playing a whole different level of football than what you're seeing in the pros. Memphis probably a little bit under par than I think any Mountain West team could probably take care of Memphis football.
I'm just saying, though, but again, one play in the National Football League has about 10 variations to it. And he just can't.
He just can't translate well. Again, there are QBs that we have seen throughout history of the NFL that have had that issue where it just, for whatever reason, hey, you do fantastic here in college ranks or you had a good career, and then whatever reason, that offense is a little too complex for you. Your head coach, your offense coordinator, QB coordinator is not sending you the right message and you're not understanding. It happens. It happens.
So here's what's going on now with the Broncos. So Kelly moves up to number 2. Lynch is now down to number 3. And like I said yesterday, and Pat said, no, it can't happen. They can't shoot him down the taxi squad. He can't be waived.
Yeah.
He can't be traded.
Which people are kind of calling out right now, saying that he should just be outright. They don't want him any part of this team. It's really up to the Broncos. Is that staff going to do that? Is the front office with John Elway, are they going to make that decision as much as they said, hey, Paxton Lynch, we're anticipating you're going to be the future of this team? Well, he's not at all. He's clearly not going to be, but, you put faith and belief in him last season with the QB turmoil that you had, and now you're going to go and turn your back on him. I don't think it would be right for the Broncos to do that.
Well, if you would unload Lynch right now, you'd have only 2 healthy quarterbacks in camp.
I don't think they can afford that.
Most teams like to carry at least 3 QBs. So,
yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Case Keenum, we do not know what to expect out of him. Is he going to be terrible? Is he going to be great? You don't know.
And again,
survey says on my side, again, if I have to play odds of his career, I have to go where he had one great season last year. And this season, I think is going to be probably terrible. He's going to go on par of what he's done throughout his career.
He was a dog at Los Angeles. Both him and Goff that one season, they were terrible.
Yeah.
And then he goes off to the Vikings and has a good year.
He has one special season, and John Elway goes, hey, what have you done for me recently? And that's why I want John here.
And again, too, we, the armchair quarterback and general managers and coaches and everything else, we all speculated during the draft that the Broncos were going to go QB.
Again, it was heavy of, hey, Baker Mayfield was their guy. Baker, or either Josh Allen. It was
Josh Allen.
One of those two, but instead they go with
Bradley Chubb.
And again, not a bad selection on their behalf, but again, they've shown that they have full faith in Case Keenum that he could be a long-term quarterback.
But what if Chad Kelly emerges as the number 1?
Oh, well.
I mean, what? Again, I'm just throwing that scenario out because
then you pay Case Keenum way too much money to be a backup.
I agree.
Clearly.
It's like A.J. McCarron, who's making a pile of money, and he's going to eventually back up Josh Allen.
Yeah.
But, Chad Kelly, again, the jury is out on Kelly because, again, facing a lot of the 2s and some 3s in his appearance over the weekend. But now they're going to go up against the Bears.
It's preseason, you can't read too much
not a
into
great litmus test, so to speak, for
none of preseason is.
Well, yeah.
Again, Broncos go undefeated last season, and they lay an egg.
Vance Joseph and his staff needs to make decisions. They got to who's going to be bye-bye, who's going to be 1.
Well,
2.
I get that. Every coach
who's going to start their opening game.
I think it would be Case Keenum
against the Seahawks.
I think so. What evidence is saying that they're even entertaining that Chad Kelly or Lynch would be that option? Again, if you invested all this money and again you had your front office boy, the beloved John Elway, going, hey, he's our man, he's our leader of this team going forward. Why would you invest all that and hype him up to the point where in game 1 against the Seahawks, we're not going to play Case Keenum. Sorry, I don't see that. I don't see that. I really don't. Especially where this is a season where Vance Joseph's job is on the line. I think where big scrutiny is going to be at least on him, where all eyes are focused on Vance Joseph, especially after last season. Again, we listened to all those post-game conferences that he had. Every single time he opened up, especially with all those losses, hey, this one's on me. It's on me.
Right.
Well, guess what? This season is going to be on you as well, too, Vance Joseph. And if you can't get it done, especially with the next leader that's going to be Case Keenum, apparently, sorry, Vance, your job, you might not be with the Broncos for much longer.
I like this. Vance Joseph was asked today how quarterback Paxton Lynch had reacted to being moved from the number QB spot to number 3 this week. Chad Kelly will work with the second team in joint practices with the Bears, and then, of course, they'll play the Bears this weekend. And Joseph said Lynch is upset. He didn't like it.
Clearly.
He wants to know why, and he's got to play better, according to Joseph. Simple as that. It's a competition. It's the league. No one's not playing their best players.
Whatever.
No one's not playing their best players.
What the hell does he even mean?
That line I don't get.
No one does not play. You can analyze that again. Who knows what Vance Joseph has the time. But at this point,
it's on him.
I mean, with Paxton Lynch, clearly you're going to be upset. I mean, it's kind of a stupid question to ask him of, again, how he feels. But he's going to be upset. Again, he was a starter. He was a starter last year, and now a third string.
Well, he was a number. He bounced between 1 and 2.
He still got starting time, though. He was still, again, number 1 at a certain points in that season last year. And I mean, what kind of stupid question is that? Yeah, he's going to be upset. What quarterback, what player in the NFL wouldn't be upset of, yeah, I moved down the depth chart? Come on now.
Well, Broncos coaches didn't find too many things to like in their review of Saturday's preseason opener, but Vance Joseph said the offensive line's play overall in the game was one of those things. That was a positive for us in his opinion. The O-line played really, really good in the run game and the pass game. I was really pleased with that group. Joseph singled out several of the team's younger linemen, like tackle Elijah Wilkinson, rookie guard center Sam Jones, and guard J.J. Dillman. Dillman had been helped off the practice field Monday afternoon with a knee injury, so he didn't practice today, but Joseph said the injury was a sprain, and it was not serious.
Whatever.
The run game...
The run game's not going to be existent for the Broncos. You cannot rely on it.
The run game for the Broncos has
it's going to be
it's
going to be similar to what you're going to see up in Laramie. I don't really think it's going to be anything leaps and bounds for this Broncos team. You're going to rely on Case Keenum, and then every once in a while to gain maybe 2 or 3 yards to get a first down. All right, maybe you run, but it's a situation. Oh well. I mean, it's good news at least from the coaching staff that you're seeing that improvements from the line, which is what you hope, especially with that young core. But is it, again, preseason, how much can you judge with that? Is it something that's going to translate well into week 1, game 1 against the Seahawks and throughout this 2018 season? Who knows? Who really knows? I still don't, I wholeheartedly do not believe that this Broncos team is going to be competitive. I think they improved by a game or 2 in the win column, but it's not a playoff-bound team, especially looking at that schedule of how tough it really is. They are, I wouldn't say in the toughest division, but it's pretty damn near close with Oakland, who I think should be very good. Chargers might be your division winners. And again, the big question, or at least the big possible dark horse, Kansas City, led by Patrick Mahomes. Could he be a diamond in the rough for the Chiefs? Who knows?
No, I don't think so. I look back yesterday at our conversation with Pat Graham from the Associated Press, and again, I think a lot of folks, and they made judgment from this past weekend's game. You and me have already said, I don't think so. The draft this season by the Broncos, okay, but
it's not the leaps and bounds of going, all right.
The draft did not put him into the playoffs.
It's the same with the NBA.
The trades, the free agency.
I'm just saying it was the same with kind of NBA where you can't really go and say, all right, you got winners there with Bradley Chubb. I think he'll be a playmaker. I don't really think he's going to be Pro Bowl or at least kind of anything extreme
I think he'll take a lot of pressure off Von Miller, though. I think he's athletic enough.
Yeah.
To take some of that pressure off Von Miller. And
do I anticipate that he'll be Rookie of the Year or anything like that, Defensive Player of the Year? I don't, but I think it is a good addition to that defense. But that defense has been solid for quite some time. It's not, again, not the level that we saw at Super Bowl 50, but it's still a good defense. And, again, you're just adding more firepower, more weaponry to it that really didn't need a whole lot of fixing to it. At least in my opinion. It'll need fixing in a few years where, again, when Von Miller kind of ages out and a few other pieces, and, again, a lot of older pieces that you've already seen retire or leave the Broncos team, I get why they did it, but, defense will be solid. Offense, it's, again, you draw similar parallels between the Broncos and the Cowboys, at least with the Wyoming Cowboys. Defense, you know what you're going to get out of it. It's going to be solid. What's that offense going to be like? What is that running game? Who, again, we know, at least for the Broncos, we know it's Case Keenum. I think that's a guarantee that he's going to be starter game 1 and throughout this season. There's no doubt about it. But what do we expect out of him? Is he going to be what we saw in Minnesota? Or is he going to be what he's been throughout his career of just a so-so, mid-tier, whatever, boring quarterback that he has usually been? Who knows?
I think.
And again, this preseason going forward again with the minimal series that you're going to see out of them. Again, game 4, you might see what a half, maybe a quarter from Case Keenum. Doubtful, but is it something that you can take as a litmus test for this team and go, that's what they're going to be like in the regular season?
The thing right now for the Broncos or for one Chad Kelly is to get better each and every day, because I have a feeling this job could be his. Because again,
especially what we saw last year with the Broncos. Hey, here's our guy. Well, he's not really getting it done. All right, we'll move to him. we'll move to him.
Yeah, well,
I think
Osweiler, you had Lynch, you had Simeon.
I think you can absolutely see a same situation this season where if it's not getting done, you're going to see Vance Joseph gone,
and it's not going to get it done with Case Keenum.
Yeah, and again, if it's not working with Case Keenum, your golden boy down there, I think John Elway is going to have to take a serious look inside and go, all right, this is not working. Hey, Chad Kelly, this is your team to run.
All
we
right.
have faith in you.
Before we go to the break here, go ahead.
I'm just saying, first piece to go is going to be Vance Joseph. If this season starts out pretty rough, which in my opinion, which I think it will, he's number one piece that's got to fall.
Here's where your career goes to die. So evidently
Cleveland?
his career is going to go and die there. The Cleveland Browns will meet with free agent wide receiver Dez Bryant on Thursday. Sources telling ESPN the meeting will take place one day before the Browns play the Bills in their second preseason game. Are you surprised? I guess the question would be, are you surprised that Dez Bryant is still unemployed?
Not really with what his comments have been in the offseason, no. Again, of where he's kind of come off arrogant and egotistical, no. I really don't. I think he's again, Cleveland's a very suitable team for a player like Dez Bryant of, go play for this team where you had it better somewhere else, or you could have had it better at some other team. Again, Cleveland is not going to do anything leaps and bounds. I don't even know if you saw the recent story that one beer company of a Bud Light will be, at least for the regular season, promoting for the Cleveland Browns, again, as they were winless last year. Whenever the Cleveland Browns, if at all this season, if they get a win, that there are bars located in the Cleveland area that will give out free Bud Light. When the Cleveland Browns, if they at all win this season, they will get free Bud Light at certain bars around the Cleveland area. So tells you how much faith there is in Cleveland to, get a W in the 2018 season.
You're saying beers.
They're it's funny because again it's a cooler, it's under lock and chain, and again it's the stipulation that the Browns have to win, and it's free beer to whoever's in those bars out there.
Well, one of the higher ups of the Browns told reporters before the Browns preseason game against the Giants last Thursday that he had called Dez Bryant to ask him to come in for a workout, but Bryant had not returned his calls. Then Bryant later tweeted that night that he would be starting my visits next week, including with Cleveland. Browns wide receiver Jarvis Landry said Monday that the Browns would welcome Bryant with open arms. Now, again,
he's a solid talent. I think
he's a three-time Pro Bowler.
I think with the Cowboys, it's a situation where we kind of talk in baseball of, all right, you've had good stints, and it's time to move on where you might not have that talent or those tools anymore. I think it's the same situation what we're seeing with Dez Bryant right now where the Cowboys go, no big loss. Go entertain where else. We don't need you. On paper for the Browns, if they do sign Dez Bryant, sure, it's a good addition to that offense. Absolutely. Is it going to be something that pans out for them? Only time will tell. For me, I think he's, at this point in his career, still solid, still can contribute. But is it going to translate to, again, if it's Baker Mayfield starting for Cleveland, is it going to be able to see Dez Bryant on that field past that, that offensive line? Who knows?
Well, and here's the interesting part with Dez Bryant, that he turned down a multi-year offer from the Baltimore Ravens. But the reason why he turned it down, he wanted to get a bigger long-term deal.
And the way that Cleveland's kind of tossing around money, I wouldn't doubt Cleveland would be willing to do that. So, and again, I don't fault Dez on that situation. As I've said with any player who kind of sits out, whether it is a Khalil Mack or a few others, absolutely, get your money. Go ahead.
Now, what's going on there in Oakland? Now, Oakland, I see they.
And we need to take a timeout.
All right, let's take a timeout. We'll check in on the Raiders when we come back after these words.
Hop into the K-Ray Time Machine each Monday through Thursday for the golden age of radio, featuring famous radio classics such as Jack Armstrong and Suspense Theater, along with pioneers in the entertainment industry like Bob Hope and Abbott and Costello, along with many other performers who've captured our ears many, many years ago. Join us for the golden age of radio Monday through Thursday, 8 until 10 p.m. on 1480 K-Ray, also 101.1 FM, and you can also stream all of our programming on 1480kray.com.
Do you have a big remodeling project in mind? Then the best tool for you is a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank. Whether you are remodeling, making home repairs, or expanding, a home equity line of credit can help you finish that project.
Stop in and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank.
Some restrictions may apply, subject to credit approval. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Good game, boys. You showed some real fight. Like when Wachowski put that hit on our own mascot. Solid work, son. Okay, Friday was for football, but Tuesday is for tacos. Taco Tuesday at Taco John's. It's a sacred holiday where we eat tacos repeatedly until I get full.
Save big every Taco Tuesday with crispy beef tacos for just 99 cents.
Get some rest, boys, because come Taco Tuesday, we olay the day.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 77. If it's tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with a slight chance of rain with lows around 52. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 83. And on Wednesday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 53.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame.
Let's play ball!
You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk today as we're running short on time. We were talking about the Raiders before we went to the break as they are holding camp in wine country in Napa, California. So the day after agreeing to a restructured contract, three-time Pro Bowl left tackle Donald Penn was activated from the physically unable to perform list and moved to a new position with the Raiders. Now he'll move over to right tackle. Mm-hmm. So that move will possibly get first-round draft pick Colton Miller, who looks like he's going to win the starting right tackle job.
Yeah.
So if I look at it right, the three-time Pro Bowler Penn has agreed to a restructured contract with the Raiders, according to multiple reports, after the team requested a pay cut less than a year after giving him a 2-year, $21 million extension. What the hell's going on there in Oakland? And there's Khalil Mack.
What are you asking me for?
And there's Khalil Mack.
He's just trying to get paid. I don't fault him.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And
again, every time he
Penn
sits out.
had a 26-day holdout.
Again, it's a back and forth of, hey, and again, you don't think that the Raiders are cheap. I still think they are. I think Mark Davis, again, he is that wheeling dealing kind of guy. Again, hence the reason why he had to work with the city of Las Vegas to get this stadium underway of going, well, I'll put up some of the bill, and then you, the city of Las Vegas, figure out something to foot the rest of it for this $1.3 billion stadium there in the heart of Las Vegas. But again, I think with these players, again, where we're seeing these holdouts with the Oakland Raiders, I think it's plain and simple as, again, the franchise is cheap, and I think that goes with the ownership. They always have been. Whether it was Al, whether it is Mark Davis now, I think they're in it to make the wheel and deal, again, of what's the best bang for their buck of, well, we'll get you paid, but we're not going to give you the world. We'll give you some, but not all, essentially. And I think that's what's going on right now with the Raiders and Khalil Mack, and we saw that with Penn. I think it's a situation of going, well, here's what we'll give you. It's close enough, right? Hopefully you'll take it. If you don't, you'll sit out, and we're going to find you, I think, again, I do believe every time he is sitting out, or at least game-wise, I do believe it's around $500,000.
That's a lot of cabbage. But my point is, though, here they bring in John Gruden, who comes in with, good pedigree.
He's beloved by the Raider fans.
And, and again, Mark Davis just thinks the world of him.
Yeah.
So they've made, how many coaching changes they made? They made 3 in the last 3 years. I mean, they got rid of Jack.
Yeah, I guess in the last 3 years.
Yeah, so,
I was going to say, since Gruden has been in there, let's see, Tom Cable, you've had Del Rio.
But my point is that with Gruden, and Gruden wouldn't come back unless he's going to get stability there.
There's stability. There clearly is. Again, where you have what is your franchise quarterback of Derek Carr.
Okay.
Again, you have a solid offensive line. Defense is there, especially if you can get Khalil Mack to sign up.
What about a running back?
That's
what
all.
About with Lynch?
I mean, he he can show stints that he's good, or at least what he was back in Seattle. I don't know.
But again,
I think with the Raiders, it's the same situation with the Broncos. It's not a team you really rely heavily on the run game. It's more so of, hey, Derek Carr, please
throw me a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
But again,
I think that's why they went out, and we've seen the past seasons of, hey, Michael Crabtree, come on over for the 49ers, we'll get you paid.
The Raiders always been known up front to beat you up.
Yeah,
with their offensive line. So
I think they have that beef up there.
So they get Penn back, and this is a 26-day holdout. Mack has not even been into camp. I mean, what?
And again, it's not just in Oakland. There's other teams that are having issues as well too. It's not with big names, but it is. Teams have fought through this for however many years. Whether it is the Raiders, whether it is, we saw last year with a few players with the 49ers.
It's quiet, though. You notice that? There's nothing being...
Yeah, because, again, they're focused on, hey, we're trying to get ready for the regular season. We got to figure out who our 2s and 3s are.
So, basically, what they're going to... Here's what's going to happen with Khalil Mack. I know exactly.
Again, you have one dedicated, probably, personnel in the Raiders franchise of dealing with Khalil Mack, going back and forth of, all right, here's what we'll offer, here's the length. Do you accept it? Okay, no. Let's work with, or at least try to. Again, I think it's a tug and pull between both parties, and going, all right, we'll give you some, but not all. I want all, but I don't.
Here's the difference now between the Mark Davis Raiders and the Al Davis Raiders. Al Davis had a sidekick who was part of that front office for umpteen years. Al Locasal. Al Locasal would get the job done. He wouldn't pussyfoot around. He got the job done. Hey, Kenny Stabler, you got a problem? Let's sit down. Let's talk. I'm going to take it back to Al. Boom. Al Locasal was the median guy. He was like your arbitrator. Well, he took care of it. They don't, again, after Reggie McKenzie.
I was going to say, Reggie McKenzie is your guy.
He's not getting this done. Yeah. And Khalil Mack is sitting out. But I'll tell you what's going to happen. Mack is going to sign on that last weekend of preseason.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah,
and he's
not going to sit out.
And he's going to be in good shape. I mean, he'll start game one. Khalil Mack will start in game one for the Raiders.
I don't doubt that. Again, what is going on right now is just essentially wheeling and dealing of who's going to budge, who's going to all right. Hey, it's kind of what you see on Pawn Stars. Hey, I want 1,500. Well, the best I could do is 500. Well, how about 1,000? Can you do 1250? I think that's what you're
1,000.
And again, here it is, a 0 hour, at least when it becomes a 0 hour, where you have pretty much more than what you were starting at the beginning of this offseason, where it's climbed up a bit in your at least favorability for Khalil Mack. I think that's a situation where, all right, we'll sign it. We're good. Okay. Because, again, these fines for Khalil, they're chump change. I think for him it's a drop in the bucket. He goes, and are the Raiders going to, or the NFL going to take that fine, or at least those fine dollars from him? I really doubt it. I don't think so.
No.
I think it's, again, as we talked about it before everything, at least before preseason even started, all it is I think it's just a little push, or it's more of a slap on the hand, a warning of going, well, if you don't sign with us, we'll possibly take all this money from you, but we're really not going to. Again, I think
we'll threaten it, but
yeah, they're not going to do it. They're not.
All right, well, we got to wrap things up for today. And again, tomorrow you're going to be talking some more football. We got a couple of wonderful guys joining us on the program, one from UW and one from...
yeah, let's not say.
Okay.
Why not?
One from the Pac-12.
Well, people will know... Oh, okay. Just say the name.
I'm not going to say it. No, I'm just...
You're an idiot. Don't even talk. Again, why do you got to spoil things? You spoil things every single time.
Birthday cash
just shut up.
That birthday cash just got lessened by $50.
Oh, please! Like you couldn't even afford it at the beginning.
Okay, that's fine. Now nothing. So don't expect anything in that pay envelope.
I never do.
All right, good. So you just saved me some money. I know.
Yeah, you're welcome for your gifts, but whatever.
I deserve it. I'm the patriarch of the family.
So
all right, here's the deal. We are going to wrap things up, so I won't say no more, because Whiny across the way there is going to have a fit.
Well, why ruin the surprise?
Why coming up? Just don't interrupt me. 8 o'clock tonight, it will be our very special programming. It's our Golden Age of Radio Theater, which features Red Skelton times 2 from 8 until 9, from 9 until 10, Suspense Theater. So do join us for that. Up until that time, we get to play the best of the 50s and 60s. Astros and the Rockies from Houston at 6:10 this evening.
Dodgers Giants
at 8:10 this evening from Chavez Ravine. All right, before we go, we always send it back over to the young Nickster to tell us
I'm not that
on
young.
this date in history. What?
I said I'm not that young.
You are. You're still
damn near
those
approaching my
kids.
30s. Anyways, it is August 4th.
May make it too.
What are you trying to say?
Let's get on with it.
Threatening me here
Get
live
on
on
it here.
August 14th, we'll go back to the year 1959. This league was created.
1959. This
August 14th, 1959. This league was created.
This league was created August 1959,
which had 6 teams involved.
I'm going to have to say back in 1959, it would have to be soccer.
No.
Okay, I'm totally stumped.
They call it football over in England, so or at least I don't know how to put it. Yeah, August 14th, 1959. We'll just wrap this up. The AFL was organized
The
with
American Football League. Wow.
With what 6 teams, or at least what cities?
All right, it would be Los Angeles.
1.
Oakland.
No.
No.
Only
Buffalo.
Wrong.
New York.
There's 1, or at least 2.
All right, so Los Angeles, New York.
4 others.
Boston.
No. AFL football.
Yeah, American Football League.
It wasn't Boston.
All right, so let me run down some of the.
There's one that should be a clear obvious of a team that was in the AFL. How about down the road?
Denver.
There you go.
There's 3. Let me see here.
It's top of the hour again.
No. Don't go there. I'm going through the old Kansas City.
No.
Oh, the Hunt. Oh, Dallas.
That's another. That's 4.
So I got 4. Give me the other 2 there.
They're now the Titans.
Oh, that would be Tennessee.
No, they are now the Titans. They were previously the Houston Oilers.
Houston Oilers.
And then a team that's up in part of a Twin City.
Minnesota?
There you go.
They were part of the AFL, Minnesota. Well, they didn't last long.
Minneapolis, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't last long. All right, so we got to wrap things up for Nick Perrotti.